UIM F1H2O World Championship season headed to the Far East and the People's Republic of China, where Xiangyang hosted its first ever Grand Prix, round 4 of the 2018 season. Situated in Hubei province, the ancient city of Xiangyang dates back 5,000 years, and the traces of its illustrious past can be seen all around today as the city of over 2 million inhabitants blends a rich and proud cultural heritage with a thriving modern feel that bridges 5 millennia of history, filled with temples, botanical gardens, universities, and a thriving social, commercial, and cultural life. Formerly known as Jiangfan, Xiangyang has a vibrant, outward-looking youth that adds a cultural dynamism to the city, which has some of the biggest movie studios in the People's Republic, and it's considered to be the Hollywood of China. The Han River, which is a branch of the mighty Yangtze River, runs through Xiangyang, acting as the commercial, social, cultural, and political lifeblood of the city and the region over countless centuries, and it continues to play an important place in modern Xiangyang. The Han River would host the 24th UIM F1H2O event in China over the last 17 years, as tens of thousands gathered along its shores to watch the Agile Grand Prix of Xiangyang unfold, getting a close-up of the boats, the drivers, and the action, with those brave enough taking a spin in the H2O two-seater. Now let's see what happened in the previous race. In round 3 in Evian, France, Eric Stark was on a roll after his round 2 win in London, and he once again took pole position to lead the race from the start on Lac Le Mans. But he was under intense early pressure from his Team Abu Dhabi teammate Dani Al-Khamzi. Mad Croc Baba racer Philip Roms crashed out in lap 8, the first yellow flag of the race, but Stark held off Al-Khamzi on the restart, with Francesco Cantando third and round 1 winner Sean Torrente moving up early to 4th position, the 4 racing line astern until the second yellow flag 13 laps later as Alex Corella crashed out. On the second restart, Torrente and Eric Eden passed Cantando, who eventually retired. Stark closed out an impressive second Grand Prix win in a row, with his Team Abu Dhabi teammates Al-Khamzi and Torrente joining him on the podium for an unprecedented single-team podium. Eric Eden capping a great race with 4th, Peter Marin finishing 5th, Anderson coming up from 18th to finish the race 6th. And so Team Abu Dhabi led the world team standings going into Xiangyang, with all 3 Team Abu Dhabi drivers dominating the world standings. Eric Stark on top, Al-Khamzi 2nd, Torrente 3rd, and CTIC China drivers Xiap and Marin 4th and 5th. There were 19 drivers from 9 teams competing at the Agile Grand Prix of Xiangyang, with hometown heroes CTIC F1 Shenzhen China team hoping to get the support of the crowds behind them as their 2 French drivers, 3-time world champion Philippe Chiappe and his teammate Peter Marin, try to win their first Grand Prix of the year for the team.
Very, very important on this season because it's a race home, and we have special pressure here, and we are very happy to race in China. And the new place, Xiangyang, is a very nice city, and the tracks feels good and everything is ready. No, we are very happy.
Xiap and Marin were 4th and 5th in the world standings going into Xiangyang, and the biggest barrier in their way was mighty Team Abu Dhabi. With all 3 of its drivers locking down the top 3 spots of the world standings after an unprecedented 1-2-3 in the last Grand Prix in Evian, Team Abu Dhabi led the world team standings 24 points clear of CTIC China going into round 4, with all 3 rounds so far having been won by their current driver lineup. The man leading the world standings after brilliant back-to-back Grand Prix wins in London and Evian is Eric Stark, the newest addition to the team. The Swedish ace is going for his third Grand Prix win in a row in China, a feat last achieved by Scott Gilman 14 years ago. Round 1 winner in Portimao, Sean Torrente of the USA, was second in the world standings going into Xiangyang, with their fellow teammate Tani Alkamzi in third. Led by legendary 10-time F1H2O World Champion Guido Capellini, they truly are the team to beat.
Based on our results and what we've done this year and our data that we have, we feel it's pretty good. So our spirits are high for the race for all three boats. Obviously the goal is just for Abu Dhabi to be in the front. Doesn't matter which boat, but one of us needs to be in the front.
There have been some radical changes in Victory Team, with brand new boats designed and built for their two aces, Ahmed Al-Hamali and four-time and defending world champion Alex Carella, both of whom are looking to overturn their misfortune and series of crashes for Carella.
After Evian, we had the break between here and then we had a couple months, so we went back to Victory. We built two new boats, tried to understand, what was the problems, and hopefully here we have it figured out. It's the first year that Victory is really building a boat with a lot of effort, and I don't think it'll take long for us to get back to the top.
Also changes for the former Team Sweden, which is now Team Amaravati, as the capital of Andhra Pradesh prepares for its first ever Indian UIM F1H2O Grand Prix in round 5.
For sure, it's a big opportunity for us to have the team Amaravati. It's going to mean a lot compared, so we can be more strong to the other teams, and it's very nice. We go to a new country, and I think it's going to be a fantastic season.
Five-time Grand Prix winner Jonas Anderson races with Eric Eden, who's been having a great season so far, qualifying in 5th in London, finishing 4th in Evian, and in 6th place in the title race going into Xiangyang. Team Maverick have a new lineup, with Cedric de Guin's team welcoming Thai racer Sukbongbang Sutipan, who replaces Mette Bjerknes. No changes in lineups for the other teams. Sami Celio and Philip Roms of Mad Croc Baba looking to salvage what they can from 2018 and overcome their engine troubles. F1 Atlantic's Duarte Benavente and Grant Trask looking to add to their team points. Moritz Stromoy and Bartek Marszalek in Emirates Racing trying to improve on their recent consistency. And Francesco Cantando looking to continue his improvement for Blaze Performance alongside teammate Simone Schuft. The 7-pin circuit in Xiangyang is over 2 kilometers long and unique in that it features not one but 2 yellow right-hand turns, making this a tricky and technical course on a flowing freshwater river.
Like this course with the 2 right-handers is very special. I never had it even in Formula 2, so it's going to be really tough to find out the best way to handle it.
The BRM official qualifying would be contested over 3 sessions, the field reduced to 12 after Q1, then down to 6 after Q2. In Q3, those 6 boats would go out one by one to lay their fastest times in a bid for pole position. In Q1, Mad Croc Baba Racing Team's chances for a turnaround of fortune were dashed, as both 2-time world champion Sami Celio and his teammate Philip Roms were unable to make it into Q2.
Struggling with the setup and I don't know, engine setup or prop setup, but we need to figure it out. We couldn't just manage to have the speed at all. I'm a little bit surprised.
It was a spirited fight from Bartek Marszalek after recent technical issues, but the Polish ace was unable to repeat his qualifying success of recent Grand Prix out in Q1. It was a fight to the end between F1 Atlantic driver Duarte Benavente and Team Amaravati's Eric Eden, and although the Portuguese veteran pushed hard till the end, it was the young Swede who just made the Q2 cut by 0.03 of a second, along with Blaze Performance driver Francesco Cantando. Also out in Q1 were Maverick F1 drivers Cedric de Guin and Sukbongbang Sutipan and Simone Schuft of Blaze Performance. In Q2, Francesco Cantando's hopes of continuing his recent improvement in form were dashed after just 6 laps when he had to pull out of qualifying, while Eric Eden and Marit Stromoy also had disappointing runs. Stromoy's excellent form going into Q2 cut short with engine issues.
We lost a lot of engine power. Out of every corner I had like 5 cylinders, and I don't know what it is, but we have a major engine issue, so really disappointing because we would have been super fast for sure.
The session was a tightly fought one with mere tenths of a second separating drivers on the tight and technical circuit. While Philippe Schiap and all 3 Team Abu Dhabi drivers laid down good lap times to lead the session, there was a tough 4-way battle between Grant Trask, Alex Corella, Peter Morin and Ahmed Al-Hamli for the Q3 cut. Al-Hamli needed just 7 laps to nail a 56.66 second lap time, which the other drivers had to beat. Defending and 4-time world champion Alex Corella didn't find the speed he needed in his new victory boat, a surprise exit from the Italian ace. Morin and Trask were also unable to beat Al-Hamli. The man who stole the show was Jonas Anderson, who rocketed through to qualify first from Q2, leapfrogging Team Abu Dhabi's Stark Torrente and Al-Khamzi. Q3, 6 boats left, with each driver having 2 laps apiece and the course all to themselves to lay their fastest time in pursuit of pole position. First out onto the course in Q3 was Ahmed Al-Hamli of Victory Team. After an aborted first run, the Emirati multiple Grand Prix winner did well on his second attempt, 56.06, but would it be enough? Next out was 3-time world champion Philippe Schiap, but the Frenchman struggled, unable to beat Al-Hamli. Schiap's time of 56.36, leaving him out of the running for pole. Thani Al-Khamzi was the first of the Team Abu Dhabi trio to hit the circuit in Q3, and he was flying out there. His first lap of 55.82, ensuring provisional pole before he beat that with an even better lap time of 55.04 on his second go. Eric Stark went out next, and the round 2 and 3 winner proved once again to be incredibly fast, nailing it with a scorching 54.76 lap time to snatch provisional pole from his teammate. Now, could Xian Torrente go one better? Torrente was immaculate on the day as yet another Team Abu Dhabi driver beat his teammate to claim provisional pole with a huge 54.51 second lap time. That left just one man, the fastest man in Q2, Team Amarabati's Jonas Anderson. Despite improving on his second run and also getting under the 55-second marker, his time of 54.89 was only good enough to seal 3rd place. And so, pole position for the Agile Grand Prix of Xiangyang went to Xian Torrente, with his teammate Eric Stark 2nd, Anderson 3rd, then Thani Al-Khamzi 4th. Al-Hamli and Schiap start 5th and 6th.
I feel great, man. So much work for the team. The team is amazing. It really is. I'm just a kid that grew up in Miami, wanted to race boats, and I get to race for a 10-time world champion. I get to race on the best team. I'm really just blessed overall, so happy, and then we finish tomorrow.
As the day's competition wound down, the UIM F1H2O family was welcomed to Xiangyang in style with a sumptuous gala dinner and a feast of live performances, music and festivities as drivers, crews and families left the day's worries behind them and celebrated the 24th UIM F1H2O Grand Prix in China. Race day. Things got off to a disastrous start for Blaze Performance as both Cantando and Simone Schuft suffered extensive damage on their boats, forcing them out of the race. Schuft lost control on the straight in official practice, flipping over.
I was on the straight and I was fast, and maybe I was a little bit too high because the end of the straight was a small wind or whatever, or wave, and I flipped. We tried it, but I think the boat is broken, and so I think I have to stop today.
Home team CTIC F1 Xiangyang China needed podium results here to stay in the title race.
We start in 6th position. For sure, I do make a good start and push on the maximum, and if it's possible to get the podium, it's a good result.
"17 drivers lined up on the start pontoon, ready for the 4th Grand Prix race of the year. The pressure was on, and the teams were raring to go.
Racing today is going to be nice, big course, a lot of fighting, and fast race.
I feel good. I fixed some problems today in the morning. I was fastest on practice. It's nice weather, nice race course. Let's have fun.
The starting lineup, Sean Torrente in pole position after a brilliant BRM qualifying run. His teammate Stark to his right, then Jonas Anderson for Team Amaravati in 3rd, and another Abu Dhabi driver, Thani Al-Khamzi, 4th. Al-Hamali and Shiap start 5th and 6th. Morin in 7th, Corella 8th, Eden down in 10th ahead of Stromoy. Celio starts back at 15th. Team Mavericks Thai newcomer Sutipan Sukbongbong and De Guin starting at the end of the pontoon as the Agile Grand Prix of Xiangyang was about to get underway. The team to beat, Team Abu Dhabi.
We know we're going to take care of each other. We trust each other. So, we'll have a clean run to the first corner, and hopefully we can be 1-2 coming out of that corner. And from there, we just manage the race and then go for it.
Final preparations complete, the seconds tick away, the lights go out, and the race is on. The Team Abu Dhabi fleet off to a good start. Al-Khamzi fast off the pontoon, speeding past Jonas Anderson with Stark pulling away to his left. Bartek Marszalek nudges ahead of Duarte Benavente and moves up beside his teammate Moritz Stromoy. First to the commitment buoy is the man in pole, Sean Torrente, and his 2 teammates Stark and Al-Khamzi push past Anderson as the race starts with a Team Abu Dhabi triumvirate leading from the first turn. It's been a poor start from victory ace Ahmed Al-Hamali, who dropped from 5th as Shiap passed him to move up a place behind Anderson. Smooth, clear waters on the Han River as the Team Abu Dhabi boats dominate the race, with Torrente in the lead and Al-Khamzi in 2nd position, just a nose ahead of Stark in 3rd. Bartek Marszalek ups the pace as he speeds past Peter Morin on the outside, the Polish driver moving up to 8th. Meanwhile, Celio moves back up to overtake F1 Atlantic driver Benavente after losing position to the Portuguese driver earlier. Behind the 3 lead boats, a battle for 4th position heats up, with Shiap on the rampage trying to wrest 4th spot from Team Amaravati's Jonas Anderson, but the Swedish ace fends off the Shiap challenge for now. Toward the back of the field, Sami Celio and Cedric De Guin lock horns. Back to the lead boats, and Torrente opens that gap with his teammate, but Al-Khamzi and Stark are still neck and neck, and Anderson and Shiap are close behind them as the top 5 break away. Behind that lead peloton, Ahmed Al-Hamali feels Bartek Marszalek breathing down his neck. The Polish driver is on the warpath with the top 6 in his sights. Further back, 4-time and defending world champion Alex Corella of Victory Team in the number 1 boat is having a miserable start to the race, struggling back there, as is yet another multiple world champion Sami Celio of Mad Croc Baba. Team Amaravati's Eric Eden passes CTIC driver Peter Morin to move up into 10th position behind Emirates Racing's Moritz Stromoy. As the first lap of 39 is completed, Team Abu Dhabi maintain their dominance, locking out the top 3, and the battle continues behind them as Shiap continues to dog Jonas Anderson, looking for a way past the wily Swede. Just 2 laps in, and lead driver Sean Torrente already lapping the back markers as he finds the clear waters to get past Thai driver Sukbongbong. The test for the lead boats will be how well they can navigate the back markers without losing pace or encountering any mishaps. A close call there in lap 3 as Eric Eden tries to slip past Moritz Stromoy and the 2 nearly collide. Peter Morin takes advantage, zips through on the inside to move into 10th behind Stromoy. Peter Marin, who is in 5th position in the world standings going into Xiangyang, pushes to catch Marit Stromoy, the Norwegian herself trying to catch her teammate Bartek Marszalek up ahead as the drama continues in the middle of the pack. 7 laps into the race, and the dogfight continues between Schiap and Anderson, the French CTIC driver and 3-time world champion, not letting up in his pursuit of the Swede in the red Amaravati boat, but Anderson has the pace to hold point. The fight for 8th place also continues into lap 9 as Peter Marin pursues the 2 Emirates Racing drivers, Stromoy and Marszalek. Peter Marin has had an excellent season so far with a podium in London and 2 top 5 finishes in Portimao and Evian. He wants to keep the good times rolling here in Xiangyang. Duarte Benavente is out in lap 12 of the race. Engine problems for the F1 Atlantic veteran. As Torrente opens a nearly minute-long gap with his Team Abu Dhabi teammates in 2nd and 3rd, the battle continues for 4th between Anderson and Schiap, and a battle for 8th place between Stromoy, Marszalek and Marin. Meanwhile, Alex Carella's dismal season fails to improve in Xiangyang, the Italian victory driver out a lap later as his hopes for a world title defense evaporate. Mad Croc Baba Racing Team season is no better as Celio once again retires from the race and his hope of a turnaround in 2018 sink in the waters of the Han River.
Was the engine or gearbox, we don't know yet, but it's technical failure.
As they lap the Thai Maverick driver, Schiap sees a chance to take Anderson on the long straightaway, but Anderson puts the pedal to the metal and holds on to 4th place with dear life. On lap 20, Bartek Marszalek spins out on the turn and his campaign takes a big blow. The Polish driver's still in it, but it costs him as he drops from 8th position to 11th. There it is from Eric Eden's on board, the young Swede quick to avert, smashing into Marszalek as he steers around him. That puts Marit Stromoy up into 8th, and she is bearing down on F1 Atlantic's Grant Trask as Stromoy makes a move to try and wrest 7th place from the Australian driver. Into lap 24 of 39, and nobody has been able to put a dent in Team Abu Dhabi's lead as Guido Capellini's fleet keeps a firm grip on the top 3. F1 Atlantic's Grant Trask is also out. Shame for the Aussie driver who was going strong in 7th, and Marit Stromoy moves up yet another spot in her climb up the field. Torrente maintains that nearly 1-minute lead. Al-Kamzi still just ahead of Stark, Anderson in 4th and being chased race long by Schiap, with Al-Hamili consistent in 6th as we go into the last 8 laps. Schiap now knows the laps are running out, desperate for some slim chance of slipping past Anderson, but the Swede is making no mistakes out there, the 5-time Grand Prix winner using his experience to hold off the Frenchman. There it is, what a race, a start to finish dominance from Sean Torrente, and yet another Team Abu Dhabi 1-2-3 podium lockdown. Sean Torrente with his 2nd Grand Prix win of 2018, Daniel Kamzi runner-up for the 3rd of 4 races this season, and Eric Stark on the podium yet again in 3rd. What a team effort it's been as Team Abu Dhabi extend their dominance of the world team standings this year. A tenacious run from Jonas Anderson earns the Team Amaravati driver a well-earned 4th place as he successfully fends off a race-long challenge from Philip Schiap, who finishes 5th, with Al-Hamili earning crucial points for victory.
I lost 1 position, but losing to Tani was a good man to lose it to. I'm very happy for the team. 1, 2, 3. That was our main goal. Happy to finish. Podium, always good. I'm happy.
I feel very happy today. We win the race, all the teams, 1st and 2nd and 3rd. I'm leading, but I need to continue until India and Abu Dhabi, Sharjah. After we see.
A 2nd podium shutdown for Team Abu Dhabi puts them 50 points in the lead of the world team standings, with CTIC F1 Shenzhen China team in 2nd position on 64 points, and Team Amaravati in 3rd, just a few points up on Victory and Maverick F1 Racing.
feel amazing. It was such a great result for the team again. All their hard work has really paid off. You know, we come to China, we finish first, second, and third again, and this is because of all the work that they do. So I'm blessed to be able to drive them, probably one of the most amazing boats ever in the history of our sport, and I'm blessed to have great teammates. We're all in a dead heat for the championship. Tani leads by 2 points over me and 1 over Eric. So it's basically anybody's deal for the end of the year, and hopefully as one of us, that's the goal.
In the driver world standings, only 2 points separate the 3 Abu Dhabi aces, the man on top being Thani Al-Khamzi, who despite not having won a Grand Prix in 2018, has shown that consistency is key. Stark in second position and Torrente third ahead of Shiap going into round 5 in Amaravati, India. As the UIM F1H2O flag passes to Amaravati in the state of Andhra Pradesh, India, that concludes an incredible first ever UIM F1H2O Grand Prix in Xiangyang. See you in round 5 in India.